I don't know why this is what I reach for when I wake up. It just happens. My eyes are open and I'm already holding it. I take it everywhere, when making my way to the bathroom, while preparing breakfast, and unconsciously swallowing. I'm going on a walk looking at its shiny body, and before I know it, half of my day is long gone. All I remember is holding this small computer in my hands. I leave the morning behind with no real memories. I don't know how, but I just don't notice. Is that a reliable way to make it less of a priority in my life? Looking back at my past year, I can see many empty days. Days I can't easily remember, assign them a single emotion, or define their meaning. Whole weeks without a single picture or a sentence. Lived, but not in the current life, more like somewhere else. Almost as if I've been there, but at a distance. This isn't a big wake-up call, but more like a gentle thought that's getting louder. The idea that maybe, just maybe, I'm not supposed to live like that. I have a box where I keep my memories, my set of treasures. There are magnets, photos, old tickets, and some things I don't even know where I got. They mirror the activities I used to do, the hobbies I used to have, and the projects I used to work on. The box is no longer growing as it used to. I can feel it when I open it after going back home from a recent trip. Somewhere along the way, it started being replaced by a single thing I can hold in my hands. The camera is lying alone in the closet. The notebook is covered in dust, if I can even find it. The insights from books are now easier to access through... You know what? For a long time I've been feeling exhausted. Not after spending a day with exciting activities, but just after waking up. I would start my day later than I wanted to. Everything would take so much time and I'd feel like being constantly behind. I would no longer look at a calendar or a schedule. Whenever I put something there, it's very likely to get delayed. I wasn't able to focus on a single thing. I couldn't make myself read a book that was longer than 100 pages. I couldn't even concentrate on reading more than maybe 10 pages in a single sitting. Even writing on paper was a struggle because I wanted to have something instantly, make something feel done without putting in work. I was feeling this need to escape whenever I had to be patient. My muscles started to be sore even though I wasn't working out. Holding a pen was somehow unfamiliar. My thumbs were occasionally rising above the surface, like I was trying to type on an invisible keyboard. So, you might have already guessed, I did the obvious thing to change that. I unplugged, packed my things, and briefly considered becoming a caveman. Okay, maybe not that extreme. I went looking for advice on productivity channels. My situation obviously must have been connected to the lack of focus, distractions, and all those effort-related things. So I tried tracking habits, I did a digital detox, even tested apps that were supposed to organize my time for me. And the results? Surprisingly, there were some, just not the kind I hoped for. My tolerance changed. Now, instead of having 100 videos to make me feel exhausted, only 20 could do so. And I could read the whole page and my mind was already elsewhere. Have you ever tried reading the same page 5 times? That was basically it. There's a moment I kept coming back to. I was standing in the kitchen looking at the clock. I thought, yeah, it's still early. I'll just watch these 3 videos. I then moved my head and looked at the clock again. It was 1 hour later. But how? Where? When? I hadn't even scrolled yet. There was just this one video. What the hell am I doing? I'm trying to fix this. Less scrolling, fewer videos, better systems. But somehow I keep ending up in the same place. The phone just magically appears in my hand. I thought I was overwhelmed because I consumed for too long. But what if I was overwhelmed because I didn't notice when I started? Maybe the problem wasn't the scrolling. It was that I was already watching before I noticed. When I was reading a book and wanted to find out more about a particular thing, I'd stop and grab my phone. I would check it. And somewhere right after that, there'd be a brief moment of watching something else. I didn't remember that moment. Or when I was getting ready to sleep, I'd get this idea I had to write down. But after I put it in my notes, my finger slipped, and 30 minutes later I was watching some stand-up comedian. I didn't notice that either. It was always happening in between. I knew that many of the things I had already tried didn't work. And what made it worse was realizing that if a decision happened unconsciously, I wouldn't be able to notice it in the moment anyway. So it felt almost unsolvable, except I realized I didn't need to catch every moment. I could limit where those moments were allowed to happen. So no phone in the bathroom, I put a book there instead. No phone in bed, that space was for my girlfriend and my dog. And the hardest one at first, no explore page, no endless discovery. If I wanted something, I had to search for it first, and only then rely on what was recommended from that search. It meant I had to name what I was looking for and why. Not every time it worked, obviously, but often enough to make that choice visible. Later that evening, I opened the memories box again. I still drifted a bit that day, so I didn't add much. Just one small thing. But I knew exactly where it came from. Not because it was special, but because I knew when it happened.